Who's your emergency contact? Who should be notified in case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. So continuing the story from yesterday, there was a lot of different things that escalated to all the drama that happened in the 90s. On this particular day, we was having a barbecue, and if anybody knows the Valley, 3500 South and Redwood Road out here in West Valley, Utah, is where they have all the Asian stores, Vietnamese restaurants, Cambodian mechanic shop, jewelry stores, Laos restaurants. It's mostly Cambodian, Vietnamese, and Laos. It's about maybe 2 or 3 blocks just full of Asian stores. And of course you got the Vietnamese clubs. All the pool halls out here in the Valley were all owned by the Vietnamese, right? Like, I didn't realize there was such a big Vietnamese population until I started running around the streets. Because usually, for me, I just hang out with a few core group of my friends and don't really venture out too much. But on this particular day, we're having a barbecue. It's right off of 3500 South at a park right across the street from the Redwood drive-in theater. So we're over there setting up, getting ready for the barbecue, and this red Jetta pulls up. The red Jetta pulls up, their hands come out the window, and they're throwing up some gang signs. And we're like, oh, that's the Vietnamese. So we all got in the car, we all ran to our car, jumped in the car, and started chasing them. And we were chasing them. There ended up being about 3 or more cars full of Vietnamese. And they went down the street, hit 35th, and headed towards Redwood Road. So when they got to the intersection at Redwood Road, there were some civilian cars in front of them. So they had to stop at the red light. Well, when we all stopped, me and a couple of homies jump out of the car to go towards their car to go do what we're going to do. But then they pulled out and ran a red light. This is probably a Sunday. I say it's a Sunday because, we're having a barbecue. It's usually on the weekend, usually on a Sunday, where everybody, got time, where their families got time to take a break and come and kick it. But in the middle of the day, around 1 o'clock, you got about 12 cars running the intersection at Redwood Road. All the civilians, their cars stop, and they're just seeing, like, I don't know, they don't know what's going on, but they know it's a bunch of Asians. Some in little, the Asians back then, they had them little souped out Honda Civics and Honda Accords and Toyota Camrys and stuff with the spoilers and the rims. So all of us were just running the red light. I didn't have one of those. I had a Nissan Sentra 93. This was in 95. So I just got out. I just bought a car, Nissan Sentra 93, white one, 4-door. Don't even got, plates on it yet. Still got the dealer's plate taped up on it. So we're all running the red light, chasing the Vietnamese. So we chase them down up north, down Redwood Road. And they busted a Yui. So we busted a Yui coming back. And on our way back, we see smoke. We're like, oh, what the hell is that? We see smoke, and we see a car that crashed into the wall by this daycare center. They have a daycare center on Redwood Road, but in front of the building, they have those cement blocks, big ass long cement blocks that keeps cars from running into the building. And we see a car total, crushed up against it. So we pulled up on the road. We jump out the car because we're thinking it's the Vietnamese dudes that crashed. And our intention was to go over there and handle our business. So when we run up on the car, we realized that the car was one of our own. It was like a 1991 Honda Civic. And the car was 4 of my homeboys, slumped. They had, I guess what had happened, when they busted a Yui to follow the red Jetta, there was another car. It was a Ford a brown Ford Bronco that when they turn, the Bronco just rear end them, full speed, rear end them, drove them off the road. They hit a curb and crash into the wall. So when we get to the car wreck, we see that it's the homies, four of the homies. You know, they're knocked out, they slump, blood come out of their mouth, you know, blood on their eyes and stuff. And at this time, two of the ladies that was working in a daycare center came running out. It was like, oh my gosh, call the police, call the ambulance, this and that. And so me and my homies are standing there and we're looking at each other. There's nothing we can do. You know, if we stay there, the police gonna come, right? And so we just look and we can see that the homie's still breathing, that nobody flew out the dash window, the dash windshield or anything like that. They were knocked out, but there was blood on them in the mouth and bumps and stuff. So we left the scene. Like, it don't do us no good to stay there. We're not paramedics. We can't help the homie. And the two ladies, they already had called the police and the ambulance and all that stuff. So we rolled out. I don't know if anybody stayed with them to make sure anything, but me and the ones in my car, we jumped in the car and we left the scene. And we sat around the house or whatever, went back to the house, waiting for the call from the hospital, waiting for them to be released. And sure enough, around 1 or 2 o'clock that evening, they were released from the hospital. None of them sustained any serious injuries. You know, they might have had a couple concussions and some bruises, but nothing too serious. So again, this is, you know, the first couple of incidents that we've had with the Vietnamese, and it's not looking good for us, right? They've been getting the best of us. So, you know, me and a couple of my homeboys, well, we're like, well, it's time to get serious, right? So a few days later, we're riding through 35th and Redwood. It's always 35th and Redwood. If you want to catch somebody slipping, it's always 35th and Redwood. Because, like I said, on 35th and Redwood is where all the Asian stores are. And if you're Asian, you're bound to stop there to shop. You're bound to stop there to eat. You know, they got all the Vietnamese, Thai, and Laos restaurants over there. Whatever it is that you do, you're bound to end up over there. And the Vietnamese got their pool halls. They got like 3 pool halls throughout the streets over there on 35th and Redwood. So on another occasion, we're rolling down the street and we see the red Jetta. Now we starting to mark their car. The red Jetta is owned by a Vietnamese dude named Vu, and the brown Ford Bronco was the car that Hugh Van Lee was driving. So we see them at this place called Thai City. It's a Thai restaurant. They have the dollar store downstairs. The restaurant's upstairs, but the restaurant turns into a club at night. So a lot of the Asians, when they're throwing events, weddings, parties and stuff, they go and lease the place for the evening and throw a party up there. We've had a few functions over there ourselves, and everything on Redwood Road, the parking lot is in the back. You gotta drive in, and then the parking lot is in the back. So we see the Vietnamese, all their cars are lined up, you know, in the driveway towards the parking lot in the back. We see the red Jetta up front. So when we're coming on 35th, we see them. I bust a U and head right towards the club. I pull on the street right in front of the restaurant out on the main road on 35th. We jump out and we start running towards the parking lot, and there's like 4 cars of the Vietnamese dudes all lined up right there. I get to the first car, I hit the window, shattered the window, and I got the driver, and I'm smashing him, trying to pull him out the car, beating his head in, you know, at the same time while all the homies, we're all in a scuffle right there on the side of the restaurant. And the car backs up, runs into his own homie's car that's in behind him, and pulls out and tries to run me over. I jump out the way, The red Jetta takes off. He takes a left on 35th, and I'm watching him. He goes down the road for about maybe 2 blocks, and he busts a U-turn. So when he busts a U-turn, I'm thinking, you know, they're gonna light us up. So I'm preparing myself, you know, to get shot up. But when he comes, he knows what my car looks like, and my car is parked on the main street right in front of the restaurant. This dude, full speed, rams his car right into mine. Like I said, I only bought the car like 2 days ago. I don't even got plates on it yet. I still got the dealer's plate. He takes his red Jetta and smashes it right into the side of my car, right behind the front wheel on the left side. I can see my car bounce up. Boom! You know, he pulls out and takes off. So when me and my homie see that shit, we run to my car, we jump in the car, try to get in there to chase him. But when I put my car in drive and try to turn into the road, my tire wouldn't turn because he had bent my front door all the way down to where it's blocking my tires from coming out, right? So we jumped back out of the car. We had to leave the car there because the car wasn't functional anymore. Ran, jumped in one of the vans that one of the homies was driving, jumped in there, and we were on a high-speed chase, chasing after them. At this time, we're in West Valley. So they take us all the way up to Salt Lake, North Salt Lake. Now back then in the 90s, or even earlier, on State Street, you know, every weekend from about 4200 South all the way to North Temple, people used to cruise State Street. The whole street would be packed. People going 10, 15 miles an hour, cruising. Every parking lot, where there's a McDonald's, Burger King, or whatever, is filled with people sitting there kicking it, drinking, smoking, doing whatever. It's just a big party every weekend. And, you know, that's where we go when we're trying to, you know, meet some girls or whatever. We get on State Street, go down there, cruise the streets, and go holler at, you know, some girls or whatever. So that whole street is packed. You can't really zip and zoom through there because everybody's going like 15, maybe 20 miles an hour. Everybody got their radio blasting, horns are honking. It's just, you know, you're just cruising the streets, right? So we get over there, and by this time, we've already kind of like made out some of the cars that they drive, right? So we got split up because there's like 3 or 4 carloads of us at the time. But when the incident happened at the restaurant at Thai City, we all broke up. You know, I jumped in the van that chased these dudes up to State Street. So now we jumping out because, you know, you can walk because the cars aren't going but 15 miles, 20 miles an hour or even slower. So we spotted some Vietnamese dude. I don't know who they are. I ain't never seen them before. You know what I mean? We roll up on them. Hey, what's up, man? Where you from? And they put their hands up like, oh, no, we don't gang bang, we don't gang bang, this and that. You know, where they, you know, they speak with that Vietnamese. I know gang bang, man. I know gang bang, man. I know gang bang, man. So, but by this time, it wasn't like anything to do with gangs anymore. It was a racial war between the Vietnamese, the Cambodians, and the Laos. And I don't know any of them dudes. I never seen them dudes before, but a lot of times prior to this, when I ran into some Vietnamese dudes, they say the same thing. I know gangbang, man. I know gangbang. But then later on, you see them with the dudes that you recognize that do gangbang. So, but every time I catch a couple of them slipping, they're like, hey, I don't gangbang. And me, I don't want to direct my shit to innocent people. I want to target the people that I'm beefing with. So when they put their hands up and tell me they don't gangbang, I leave them alone because I don't know if they do or not. And I'm not trying to just punish innocent people. But like I said in the prior video, it went from them dudes beefing with the 2 gangs, the Laos and Cambodian gang and the Vietnamese gang, to it just being racial, to being Vietnamese, Cambodian, and Laos, just bumping heads. But like I said, a couple of dudes that I ran up on prior to this, they say they didn't gangbang, but later on when we got into other incidents, I recognized some of the faces that say they didn't fuck around with the dudes that we're beefing with. So at this time, it's already been 2 occasions where, they got the best of me and I've been shot at, and now I got a brand new car that just got totaled. So, my tolerance or my compassion or whatever the word is, that I might let these people walk because they say they're not involved, or they say they don't fuck around. All that shit went out the window, So without going into details, we ended up punishing a couple dudes on State Street that were Vietnamese, right? So, everything is wrapping up, and it's getting really hot in the valley, especially with the police, because now they know that we're at war. So everywhere we go, we're getting swooped up on. The cops, they already know what car we drive, and most of the cars that we drive are under our name. So when they pull us over and run our plates, they know who it belongs to. They would pull us over. There'd be 1 car behind, 2 cars behind us. They don't step out the car until the gang unit arrives. When the gang unit arrives, they come out, they pull out their straps, and they're ordering everybody out of the car, lay down on the ground, and all that stuff, and then they're shaking us down. That's why a lot of times, unless I'm planning on going on a certain mission or whatever, I don't ride around dirty, because at any given day, any given moment, anytime I pass by a police car, I'm getting pulled over. I know that already. And I wasn't trying to just get caught slipping just for the sake of having something on me. But, on those couple occasions that I got the shit end of the confrontation, I kind of wish I had something on me, because I end up getting shot at, then I end up getting my car wrecked, right? So fast forward with the Vietnamese dudes, I get locked up at the end of '95, right? And there was other things that led up to that or whatever that I'll go back to, but right now I'm speaking about our war with the VF. So in about February '95, I got locked up in November of '95 after one of the homies catch a body, and they come and shake down my house, and they find a sawed-off shotgun at the crib, because I didn't cooperate and let them know where my homie was at, because he was on the run after the body. They locked me up for possession of unregistered firearm, but they locked me up in the state, and I'm in the county jail. I spent maybe 2 weeks in the county jail and bailed out. But come February of '96, the feds come and indict me. So now in '96, I'm in the county jail, ADC, fighting my indictment. And while I'm fighting my indictment, one evening, I'm on the tier sweeping the floor, and some dude called me to the bar. I'm on the 2nd floor in front of 2C9, and 2 dudes like, "Hey, what's your name?" I said, "Where you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm Mesa from TOP. What's up?" "Well, hey man, why the fuck you guys beefing with us?" And it was 2 dudes from VF. Like, "Hey man, we got no problem with you guys, man. We got no problem with you guys. We just got a problem with the mother gang, right?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't care about that shit. What's up?" And the 2 dudes, one of them was Hugh Van Lee, and he's on the bar. I'm on the other side of the bar, and I pull up, and just like the first time I met him in front of the club, where he jumped over the stick that I threw at him, he still looked just as big, just as yoked. But they had another Vietnamese dude named Dat. He's a little shorter, maybe like my height, but they're all stocky, right? So he's like, "Man, we know you guys, man. We have no problem with you guys, man." I say, "Hey, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing for me to say. Is what it is." And like, man, we ain't trying to beef with you guys. We're just trying to beef with them dudes because they did whatever they did. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So through the course of the next few months, that dude, I'm in another block. He write me a kite, and he's like, hey man, we're all Asian. You know what I mean? We go back. We know some of your homies. We grew up with them. We're good friends with them. Like, we don't got no personal beef, so let's squash the beef. I said, all right. I said, yeah, that's fine with me. I don't, like I said, I didn't really have any personal beef with the VFs until we got caught up and started aiding and assisting them dudes. And then, but, but before I got locked up, there was a lot of pool hall shootings out here in the valley. I'm not gonna go into them, but like I said, I had the shit end of the stick a few times and got tired of it, so I went and started doing things, the way I know how to do it. But so now I'm in the county jail, and this dude Dap from VF is telling me, "Hey man, we cool. I don't want no problems with you." And for me, like if you're extending the olive branch, I'm gonna accept it, unless I just have like a personal hatred towards you because of something that was done. But I never really had any direct confrontation with these dudes outside of the beef that we had on the streets. But like I said, again, the beef wasn't ours, but we made it ours, towards the end of the summer. But so when he's like, hey man, like we're all Asian, there ain't no reason for us to beef. There's only a few of us in here. I'm like, all right, this is my first time in jail, and I really don't know the politics of the jail. I'm gangbanging, but everywhere I heard that, when all the Asians go into the jail, they got to band together because we're so outnumbered by all the different races and stuff. So the next few months, every time I go to rec, I holler at him through the window. Every time he go to rec, he'd holler at me through the window. And we knew some of the same girls on the streets, and he was giving me these girls' names to write. So I was writing some of their friends while I'm fighting my case in there. And I'm not gonna say we became cool, but there wasn't like animosity or anything, at least on my part, right? But I'm thinking we're cool. So one day I signed up for the dental lab to go get my teeth checked. And on this evening when they take us out to the dental lab, they take us out and put us in the gym. They lock all of us in the gym, and then the dentist or whatever, the PA will come and call us one by one to go see the dental lab. So when they put me in the gym, I go in there. Back then, oversized clothes was the style. So I got a 2X jumpsuit on, big ass, look like a fucking clown suit. And I'm in the gym, and I'm shooting a basketball. And when I'm shooting a basketball, that fool that Vietnamese dude comes up. Say, hey, what's up? I'm like, man, what's up? Oh, why you cross my hood out? I'm like, what? He's like, why you cross my hood out? I said, what the fuck you talking about, homie? I did cross his hood out when I first came, but like I said, for the last few months, he's been hooking me up with some girls to write. We've been having conversations, talking about people we know, street. So I thought we had already squashed all that. I'm like, man, I thought all that shit was squashed. It's like, nah, you crossed my hood out. So I'm like, man, fuck your hood. So when I say that, I reach to go punch him, but my arms get caught, and there's a dude behind me, puts me in a full Nelson, right? But I grew up learning a few things here and there from the people I met. I've never been like officially trained in any type of arts or anything like that. But like I said, when you're in the streets, for me, I always want to give myself the best tools to survive. And I know that going to the penitentiary was in my future. So anywhere I can get a chance to learn how to fight, learn some techniques and stuff that I know people that really know that stuff. I take it upon myself to learn. So when I go to reach to go punch this dude, this Vietnamese dude, the dude behind me puts me in a full Nelson. And the dude is a Mexican dude. So that's why I never suspected it, because he was the only Vietnamese dude, you know. But I guess these guys, they've been living in the block together and got cool or whatever, and they plotted against me or something. So I'm in a full Nelson, but as soon as I feel him slipping his arm, pulling a full Nelson, I clamp, my elbow down, and I throw him over my shoulder. Boom. I throw him over my shoulder. And while I throw on my shoulder, here comes the Vietnamese dude. He's taxing me. Bing, 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 bing. So we're in a scuffle, right? I'm in the gym by myself, and me and him are fighting. And he's getting the best of me, right? So out of desperation, he's got me on the wall. He's hitting me up. I'm on the wall. I take my right foot. I plant it on the wall, and I push off and just swing with all my might, right? I swing. I don't even know if I hit him or anything. I fall down. I scramble to my feet. I slip out of my jumpsuit because, I got a 2X jumpsuit on. I slip out of my jumpsuit. I tie this shit around my waist, and I'm scanning. I'm looking for him, right? And I see the Mexican dude standing in the corner. And I'm scanning around the gym, and I see the Vietnamese dude, Dad, walking back and forth under the basketball rim, holding his face. So, I get ready. I steel myself. I'm like, all right, they're gonna come back. They're gonna rush me, and I'm in a fight for my life, right? So I'm standing there waiting for them, because I don't want to rush them, because they got the other. If it's just me and him, it's cool, but he's got another dude on the side. He's got a sidekick. So he's walking back and forth under the basketball rim, and he sees me standing there. So he comes up, and he drops his hand from his face. When he drops his hand from his face, I had split him from his eye all the way to his lip. It was just, I don't know how I did it. Like I said, it was desperation. I just put my foot on the back of the wall and just pushed myself off and swung as hard as I could. But I split him from his eye to his lip. It was a big ass gash and it was leaking, right? So he puts his hand down. He's like, hey man, why you cross my hood out? I said, man, fuck your hood. And all the rest of it, right? And just about, right when we were about to get into it again, the CEO comes and opens the door to call somebody out for dental. So when they opened up the door, I just slipped out. Because, I'm not afraid of confrontation, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit in there with two dudes that's trying to jump me, right? So I just slipped out and went out to medical. But that was my first lesson in the county jail. And that lesson is that, for me, how I carried it after that was, once you're an enemy to me, I'm always going to put you in that category. Because that time, I slipped up and I allowed this dude to rock me to sleep. I allowed him to tell me that, hey, we was cool. But the whole time, this motherfucker was plotting on me, waiting to set me up. And after that, through the rest of my bid, whoever I was beefing with, I wasn't giving him no leeway. I didn't want to hear no conversation about us being cool or about us having a truce or about, oh, we're all Asians, we should get along and all that. Nah, all that shit went out the door. That shit went out the door when I got plotted on like that. But life is a learning lesson. And that was one of the first lessons I learned being in the jail. Don't trust nobody. Welcome to the USP.